What's going on YouTube? JD here for the next episode of JD Plays Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved. Expert mode, and I'm pretty positive we're on episode 7. So last time we got some cool stuff knocked out in terms of extra utility. We got started with getting some generators set up. We got our thermionic fabricator and our carpenter set up. We've got our first set of tubes made. Made a couple of, some new tools and just different stuff we were going to need to take the next steps towards machinery. And the next step in that process is to get some assembly table and lasers crafted. Now, just like last time, I already have those recipes set up along with some additional recipes right here in this crafting table. So before I start on the assembly table and lasers, which really the assembly table and lasers are done, what you're going to need is you're going to need a gold gear and some diamonds to make a diamond gear. And that completes the assembly table and the lasers you can see here. But before I do that, I want to make some of these HV capacitors. Now, HV capacitors are a form of energy storage from Immersive Engineering. And these things take treated wood planks, blocks of redstone, blocks of lead, aluminum ingots, and steel ingots. Now, this is the highest end you can make, and it stores, I think, 1,000,000 RF or something like that. I don't remember for sure. But I'm going to make 4 of these guys to get started. And we're going to talk about them for just a second. And we're going to set one down. We're going to set one down right here just to look at it for a second. Now, if you notice on this block, there are, as with any block, 6 sides, but one side has a blue dot and one side has a red dot. Blue dots are incoming power. Orange, not red. Orange dots are outgoing power. And how you change these dots is with this engineering hammer. So we can right click and take the dot away, change it, put it one on, okay? Now, what I want to do with these is I've got some generators set up right here. I've got 2 culinary. I went ahead and made an additional one. And I've got bacon cheeseburger sitting in both of these, 37. We've got them both full of power. And then I've gone ahead and I've set up some hobbyist steam engines because we had 5 of them, and I've set 3 of them up. I've attached them to water via one of the liquid transfer nodes underneath there because the carpenter also needed water for it to operate. And so I've got all this rigged up and set up. And I want to go ahead and get power starting to pump into this these capacitors so that we can store energy. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to actually set this capacitor directly on top of this generator, which will allow it to push power into it. To do that, I need to turn this bottom side to blue. So that's blue now, so I can pick it up. And you'll notice it didn't stack with the others down in my bar. It's standing by itself. So if I put that on here, it's going to start gaining power. You can see up at the top it's gaining power, which means this generator is now spending power. Now, you can daisy chain these things. So if I put another one up here, and I make it blue, and I stack it on top, but before I do, I want to set this back side of it also to blue, because this side's orange. So now, it's pulling power out of this, and it's pulling power out of this. And I've daisy chained the power line to come forward. But I'm not doing anything with these yet. And these all have fuel in them, and they all have water in them. So how will I get power from these into this? Well, one way that you can do it is you could turn the actual engine into where you want to pump the power into. But I'm not going to do it that way. Instead, Immersive Engineering offers another way of doing it, and that is to create these wire connectors. And I'm going to make 4 rounds of these with 4 each, so 16 wire connectors. So let's grab them. Now the only problem with these HVs is that you can only put 1 wire into them each. So for example, if I put one here, and I put one here, and I put one here, you will see what's going to happen. We need some wires. So there are lots of different types of wires in Immersive Engineering. There's LV, MV, and HV, and each one transmits a different amount of power. These happen to transmit up to 4,096 RF per tick, but there's no way I'm going to be producing that much power to begin with. So if I run a wire from there to there, they're connected now. Any power this thing produces, it's going to put into there. If I try to run one from here to here, it will not allow me, because you can only have one connection between these things. So keep that in mind if you decide to go with the HV power. So I've turned this one on, and it's beginning to heat up. And that's cool. That's good. We're going to set this to blue. We're going to set this here. We're going to bring these down here. So therein lies part of the problem, is sometimes These things do not like to cooperate. So here's what we're going to have to do, I think. See if this is going to work. I'm going to try to put that there. I'm going to try to break this one off. And can we turn it? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we can do it that way. And realistically, what I can also do is I can break this off, turn that back off for a second. Let's grab that. Yeah, that's the one I want. Okay, where'd my hammer go? There it is. Okay, let's go ahead and set this side to blue as well, right quick. This side's orange. Yeah, okay. So we're going to put this one back. And now we should be able to turn this to face it. There we go. So now it doesn't need a power cable at all. And this one right here, we can let it pour directly into this one. So we can just set that there and hook that up there and there. The problem with what we've got going on right now, I don't want to put it to the same point. There we go. Is that it makes it very difficult now to access this rear culinary generator. In fact, I don't even know if we can. Let's see. Let's take half of them out. Okay, yeah, we can. We can just barely reach down there and get to it. So that's cool. Because this is only going to be temporary. We just want to get some power set up. Let's get that one running. Set this one here. Turn this one forward. Kick it on. Set this side to blue. There we go. All right, everybody's on. Everybody's heating up and running. And we're pumping power into this front battery. Now, right now this is blue on top, but we don't want it to stay blue. We want to start outputting power from here. So let's take one of these others and set it to blue on bottom. And now all that power is going to be pulled through those two batteries and into this one. And that's cool. All right. We're going to come back to this last one because we've got plenty of time to do that. It's going to take a while to go through all the fuel that they've got on them. Let's get back to the assembly tables and whatnot. So with the assembly table itself, here's your setup. It's very simple to produce. Let's grab that. And then we're going to make 4 of the lasers. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, with the lasers, we may not want to use HV. We may want to just use MV. Because MV, you can have a single MV piece like this. And all we need to do to make that is grab some, do I have them on me still? I had a bunch of blocks of clay. I gotta find them right quick. What did I do with them? I put them in here. There we go. Okay, so let's grab 4 of these. Stick it in our handy dandy ovens. That'll get that going. And then for the wire, you're gonna need some electrum, which is an alloy you get from mixing gold and silver together. And you get 2 cable per. We're gonna need a little more than that. And medium, honestly, transfers a crap ton of power. I will probably transfer most of my stuff back over to medium after this episode. I just wanted to, I'm going to use those HVs down the road, so I went ahead and made them to start just to kind of show off the issue that you're going to have if you try to use HV for everything. It's not going to work out as nice as you might hope. All right, so we've got some lasers. Where do we want to place them? How do we want to do these? If you've never used lasers before, it can be kind of weird, but and you can see I've started to save some recipes to my crafting grid. So here's a chest. I don't know why it's not giving me the chest. There it goes. Okay, so I'm going to set a chest right in front of that, and I'm going to put my assembly table on top of the chest. The reason we do that is because when the assembly table creates something, it doesn't have its own inventory storage, and therefore it's going to spit out whatever it creates to whatever inventory it can find. If there's no inventory there, it's going to spit it out on the floor. So whenever you're setting that up, you want to keep that in mind and make sure you provide it with an inventory. Okay, I need to set the top of this to blue. I mean orange, sorry. So there's that. And this to blue. And we want that to be on nothing. And we're going to go ahead and place this one up top right here in front of that box. Alright, and now we're going to set this to orange. This to orange. Well, really, we'll just do it this way. This will work. Alright, these should be done. So let's grab what I believe is iron. Yep, okay. And let's just put 1, 2, 3, 4. And the steam engines are finally starting to get running pretty good. It takes them a while. None of them are running at full speed yet. They're all still building up. And even at full speed, these guys only produce 16 RF per tick, whereas these guys are each producing 50 RF per tick. So that just kind of goes to show you just how powerful those little things are. All right, so we've got that one. Let's go ahead and get a gap right there, and let's attach lasers here. And we'll put another one. Let's see. We'll do them there, there, and we'll put the last one just right here to the side. It doesn't matter. Alright, so laser, laser, laser. Alright, so let's take down all of the wood that's up there now. I should have a tool somewhere for that. Alright, and we need to be able to operate up there. We need to be able to do some work up there. So let's make ourselves a little, staircase, so to speak. And let's throw down some of these. No, those are HV. I just screwed up. I need MV. Okay. And so from this one MV connector, I can send power to there. I can send power to there. I can send power to there. And I can send power to there. So out of this one piece, I'm transferring up to 1024 RF into all four of these lasers. Now, if you're worried that that's not enough, we could have gotten this done with HV power to transfer even more, but I think that that's plenty. So these guys are powering up. All of our extra storage or extra power is being stored in the capacitor, and we've already built up 1,000,000 RF. That's fancy. And no, none of this stuff is going to stay here. We're just building it for right now to get it going. So we want to make some iron chipsets. That's one of the first sets of chipsets we want to get made. So let's grab, like, I don't know, 4 iron. And let's grab some redstone to go with it. And how these chipsets work is everything that goes in this assembly table, for the most part, you're going to see there's some stuff that doesn't, is probably going to require some type of redstone and something else. You click the item you want to make, the lasers are going to fire up, and their color determines how fast the progress is. Blue is as fast as it goes. So at blue, we'll see this move up very quickly. And it's going to actually probably start to drain down, and it is. It's slowly kind of draining down my capacitor now. So we don't produce enough power really to push these at full speed, but it's going to do enough to do what we need. So with that said, we've gotten rid of lasers, and we've gotten rid of assembly table. Let's take those off the list. And we're ready to look at our metal former. We're ready to move on to our first, real machine. So the metal former requires a few things. It's going to require a circuit, a basic machine casing, some toolboxes, and some coils. Let's start with the electronic circuit. For the electronic circuit, we're going to need a metal plate, some redstone, and some insulated copper. And to get that insulated copper, we're going to need copper wires, and we're going to need some rubber bars. Now, to get insulated copper, we're going to need these cutters and a copper plate. So we drop these in. You get 2 wires per. We're going to clip those out. Now, I know that right now I'm planning to make 3 of those circuits. So if I'm going to do 3 of those circuits, I need 18 of these. So I'm going to run those along here. There's 1, 2, there's 3, 4, there's 1, 2. We need a third of this, and then we need a little bit of redstone right here. And that's going to give me all 3 of my, well, when I put the rest of the stuff in, of my circuits, okay? So the next thing that I know I'm going to need is I'm going to need this basic machine casing. Well, that's where our first chipset comes in. So let's see, do we have one? We've got one. All right, let's make one. So basic machine casing right here. Just go around it. Done, no problem. And we're going to be making some more of those as well. Now the next part is this stuff down here, these coils. And that's where a lot of this wire is going to get chewed up. We need to make 3 of these. So we're going to go around it. And I need to know what I did with the rest of my copper plates, because I thought I had more of them. There they are. So chop those up. There we go. And then we need 3 iron ingots. Those are aluminum, not iron. Here's iron. That's going to give us our 3 coils. Lastly, we're going to need to make those toolboxes, and those toolboxes actually take bronze. So I got some bronze right here. And to make a toolbox, you're going to want these bronze item casings. So to get those, you're going to need a sledgehammer. I'm not sure what I've done with my sledge. There we go. And I think we need about 20 bronze for this. So take those and then smash those bronze plates into item casings. Okay? So let's take the item casings. We're going to run them all. I'm sorry, I just messed up. Like so. And then we'll need a couple of chests. Now these are actually inventories. You can use these to expand your inventory, to walk around and carry stuff inside of them if you so chose. We're using them as a part of this recipe. And there is our metal former. Now, metal former works off of EU, not off of RF. That's going to create a problem for us, right? No, actually, it's not. And the reason it's not is because Immersive Engineering, unless something has changed, is such an amazing little mod that you can actually hook up via the wire EU machines to RF machines. And it will be powered. And right now, we have finished making all of our chipsets. So I'm going to tell it to go ahead and make some redstone chipsets. But this metal former is now ready to go. And guess what? The metal former replaces the sledgehammer, replaces the clippers, and has an extra mode in it that's much more efficient. So for example, for every bronze ingot, or if we wanted a bronze plate, we were having to spend 2 ingots per plate. Now we can get them at a cost of 1 per plate, per ingot. 1 plate equals 1 ingot. I can't speak because I'm tired. I'm sorry. So that's awesome. So that's going to be a huge change to how we can start knocking things out in terms of material, conservation. And we're going to be able to make that work very rapidly down the road. Okay. Now I said I wanted some additional electronic circuits, and that's for the additional items you see on the screen. I would also like to go ahead and make a compressor. And a compressor is kind of a big deal because it's the next step on our way to Tinker's Construct and getting to our super tools. So we just need some stone and another basic machine casing for that. So let's grab another chipset out of here. We'll throw it in right here. Let's grab some ingot or some plates and put them around and pull a casing out. And then the only other thing that goes in this one is going to be some regular stone, just smooth stone. This is actually a very easy machine to make. And what the compressor does is it takes things like, for example, let's take some steel. Let's take 36 steel, in fact. And let's stick them into this metal former. This metal former is going to take this steel and it's going to start to smash it into plates at a rate of 1 for 1. What the compressor will do is it will take 9 of those plates and create for us a dense plate. Well, that's pretty important because if we want to make a tool forge, which is what we used to make the smeltery, we need 4 dense steel or refined iron plates. So now my compressor is also hooked up to power. And I've got this guy making plates. Our power is slowly being drained, but that's because we're running a lot of stuff off of it right now, and that's fine. So I still have, and we'll make those dense refined plates here in just a second. I still have 1 electronic circuit left. The compressor actually has a brother. It's called the extractor. And the extractor is very simple to make. It takes another basic machine, another electronic circuit, and 4 tree taps. So let's make some tree taps right quick. Those guys are pretty simple. So tree taps look like this. And what they're used for is in IC2, the rubber trees, you can actually tap them to get rubber out on a continual basis, so to speak. So we take this and this, and we put this here, this here, this here, and this here. Swap those. we will get our extractor. So now we're able to, with the extractor, take things like this rubber wood and turn it directly into rubber again. And that's pretty freaking useful, just to be honest. Now, I don't remember, but I'm going to test this. I don't think you can set an IC2 machine directly against a generator and power it. But we're going to try it. Let's see. You cannot. So we still need to hook that one up to power, which I'll move it later. Word of warning, do not attempt to move these machines using your wrench. You'll only get back the machine casing and you'll have to recraft them. You'll need to use some different items for that, particularly these. I think the screwdriver does it. I usually use a dolly to move them around, and I'll be making a dolly very soon for that exact purpose. Now, we've got the compressor in place. You know, we're not really using it. We should find something to use it, right? That would be good. Well, let me see if I can find something that I'm looking for here. My volume is so loud. Oh, and while I'm at it, I actually automated my soybeans a little bit. So now I've got an additional presser set up right over here. And what happens is if we put soybeans in here, they come in here and they become silken tofu. They fall through. Silken tofu goes into here and becomes firm tofu and soy milk and falls down here in a ready-to-use product. And it works out extremely well. So it's a really nice little setup. Now, let's grab this right here for a second. Let's run back upstairs. I told you guys a while back that eventually we would be using those cinder pearls very heavily. And they would actually become a primary source of fuel for our base. That's where the compressor really comes in. So obviously we need it for making the dense refined iron plates and for a few other things. But the main place that I use these compressors is right here with this blaze powder, because every 5 blaze powder gives us a blaze rod. And if you look, the blaze rod has a 2400 tick burn time compared to a 1600 tick burn time on charcoal. So it's vastly superior. Not only that, if you take blaze rods and you combine nine of them together, you will end up with a blaze lamp. And a blaze lamp gives 24,000. It gives you a 10th blaze rod for free in terms of burning efficiency. And that's for any type of, machine that burns. This includes these hobbyist steam engines right here and our Endo flames downstairs for Britannia. So they're really, really super useful, and because we can grow them and we've got them as a 10 cubed, meaning a perfect crop, we get 4 of them every time. We get 4 blaze powder, that is, every time I harvest one of those things. And because we have the water system now in place to irrigate our crops, we're going to be able to grow these blaze powders at a very high rate of speed, turning these into really the only burnable fuel we'll need. We'll probably never even honestly need, quote unquote, a tree farm for my base because of this. How are we doing over here? We're almost done compressing down all of these steel refined iron plates. And these actually get used in quite a few recipes in and of themselves. So let's grab the ones that are done out. This is about done. Let's pull this out. Let's throw these refined iron plates in and let them start compressing down. And we're going for it, man. We're going for our tool forge right now. So the compressor's done. And what this really comes down to is I'm, at this point, able to move into thermal expansion right now. And what I'm thinking is I may go forward with that, but at the same time, I'm kind of thinking I may take a step back and do a little more exploration into Britannia. I may start looking into some Thaumcraft at this point, some Blood Magic, some Witchery, things like that. Because like I said, I do want to make sure that I'm trying to play the game a little more balanced this time, rather than just going straight machinery the whole way. Now, one of the things that was brought up was how good the manufacturing halo is. And the assembly halo can be upgraded into a manufacturing halo. But to do that, we need a mana diamond. Well, how do you get a mana diamond? You throw a diamond into a mana pool. It's not exactly difficult. And I'm sure you were well aware of that before I told you. So let's go grab a diamond right quick, and we're going to go ahead and upgrade this. Now, there's also the Ring of Magnetization. That can also be upgraded into a greater Ring of Magnetization, giving it a bigger radius to use its magnetic effect. But to do that, we need Terra Steel. Well, how do you get Terra Steel? Terra Steel requires a little bit more than just throwing things into the pool, and we'll get into that soon. but it was brought up that it might be worthwhile to point out how that happens. Alright, let's put this last thing in here. Everything's still running. All of my generators are still pumping power, and we're doing really good on power right now. So that's good. We should have a diamond in one of these right there. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade that crafting halo, and by the time we're done, this should be done. There it is. So let's take and grab 3 of these out. Let's go upgrade this crafting halo right quick. Assembly halo, whatever, into a manufacturing halo. And I don't know a lot about the manufacturing halo other than it allows you to create goods much quicker than the assembly halo when you're standing still. So taking this and taking this, we get this. And if you look, same kind of principle. The only difference, if I remember right, is that the manufacturer halo will craft very rapidly. Like, so let's say you wanted to craft a whole bunch of chests. Instead of it ticking kind of slow, it's going to do it in very rapid succession now. So that's the upgraded version of the assembly halo. Now, we are ready to upgrade this tool station right here. So let's break it out right quick. Let's open this up. And we're going to take our 4 dense refined iron plates and our tool station. And you will need 3 seared bricks to do this across the top. And that gives us our tool forge. And this means that we're finally ready to make some of the best tools in the game, because this gives us access to the hammer, to the lumber axe, to the excavator, and to the scythe, as well as a few other tools. The crossbow is a major one. It's super, super, super powerful. To do that, we're going to need to make a few more patterns. Now, we've got the tough tool binding right here. I've already poured a tough tool rod pattern. So we just need to make a few more patterns right quick. So let's see here. I think I've got some wood right over here. Okay, I do. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to grab this stuff up. What's up, Loops? I don't need this many patterns, but I'm just trying to be kind of quick about this. So we're going to need the hammerhead. We're going to need the plate. We're going to need the excavator. We're going to need the lumberjack axe. And I think that's about it, but we'll leave that in place just in case I need to come back and get more. And while we're waiting on that, or while we're getting that done, we're going to put these aluminum brass ingots back in and let them melt down for a minute. So into the stencil table, let's put these and let's grab out what we need. We need the hammerhead, excavator, lumberjack axe, and large plate pattern. And we're going to want to make one of each of these out of stone so that we can take it over and pour a metal pattern for it right quick. Now these take up a considerable amount of resources. These take up 8 resources each. The binding and the tool rod take up 3 apiece, if I remember correctly. So, whoa, we do not want that to happen. Stop it. So yes, you can pour blank casts. The reason why you can do that is because there are certain things like the drawbridge, landmines, and a couple of other recipes that actually, no, that's all, that take these blank casts as a part of their recipe. So hammerhead down, let's make a hammer cast. Beautiful. Let's get the plate. Beautiful. That one. And that one. Alright, that makes us able to make some really, really amazing tools, especially for the building process. And on that note, we're going to talk about some very special tools for just a moment. These are, if you've ever watched my series before, you know I have a thing for making these indestructible tools. I don't know if that's still a thing. I don't know if that's still a possibility. I don't know if that's been changed, nerfed. I know there had been some talk about it at one point, but we're going to look a little bit at that right now. So if you were to take some emeralds, and somewhere in here I've got some books. Where are all those books? Right here. Alright. So let's say I take 1, 2, 3, 4 emeralds. And 4 books. I can make an enchanted book called Flim Flam. Okay? And with 4 of those Flim Flam books, we can do something kind of cool. We're going to need a little bit of gold. And there's some gold right there. What is this? Aluminum brass. Okay. So let's put that gold with this gold. Okay. I never can remember the recipe for bookshelves. I don't know why. Alright, so we're going to get a bookshelf. We're going to get these 4 flim flam books right here. And we're going to get some gold ingots. And with that, we can make magical wood. Magical wood, in the past, and I'm about to find out if it's still true, in Tinker's Construct provided some very, very amazing tools. And the reason for this is because that when you make an item out of magical wood, it has 11 possible upgrades on it. So we're going to see right now about making a hammer out of magical wood real quick and see if that is still the case. And you can take these 11 upgrades and literally make indestructible tools with them. So there's the hammerhead. So now the only thing that we're missing should be the tough tool rod right here. Alright. So with all that done, come over here and we'll go to the hammer. And I'm not going to show you necessarily probably every single tool being made on screen. I might, I don't know, we'll see. But when we put this in here, 11 modifiers remaining. Now the stats on it are terrible. But you got to remember what's going on, Vega Puppeteers. You got to remember with 11 upgrades, there's still 3 additional upgrades. So let's say you didn't want to make this necessarily indestructible. You can get a massive amount of upgrades on these things. And realistically, if you're going to do something like Silk Touch or Luck, that's only taking up 1 upgrade slot. If it's indestructible, it doesn't need any durability. The only other thing you might want is mining speed. And with the enchant to the gloves, the mining speed to the gloves, that's kind of already a big deal. You know, you kind of already got decent mining speed. So having a tool you'd never have to repair becomes kind of massive if you ask me. So we're going to call this hammer, you know, the usual Zolnir. And we're going to make it. Bam. Now how am I going to get this to become indestructible? Well, that happens via, if I can remember what I did with it all. I think I took them out and stuck them somewhere. It might even be downstairs. You need obsidian for this. So you will need at least a tool that can at least get obsidian for you. And if you're lucky enough to get a bunch of emeralds and stuff early in the game, and 2 diamonds, 1 to open the Twilight Portal, 1 to get an obsidian tool, you can actually take this same wood. So I'm going to show you one of my favorite early game tools, and that is you can make a tool rod, tool binding, and pick. And this also, with only 3 pieces, will get 11 full upgrades on it. And for an early game tool, that's absolutely amazing. It's one of the best things you can possibly get if you can turn it into an indestructible. And how you're going to go about turning it into an indestructible is to take these plates and these obsidian blocks, and you're going to make an obsidian large plate. Well, an obsidian large plate can be used as an upgrade. So if I stick this in there, you'll notice that I get reinforced 1, and it's going to use one upgrade slot. If I were to put 10 of them on there, every level of reinforced gives it a 10% durability increase up to the 10th level. It reduces the damage taken by 10%. And at the 10th level, it's now invincible. It's now an indestructible tool, and it will no longer take damage at all. So I'm going to be doing some upgrading to this hammer. I'll probably have it all tweaked out by the next time you see me. But, yeah. You now know how to make indestructible tools that you can put some amazing enchants on. And you're going to see me doing a lot of work with bows and other things. But at this point, we've now got our metal former, we've got our compressor, we've got our extractor, we've got a power system, which is definitely going to have to move because this is horrendous, and my base is driving me crazy right now. We've stored up almost 3 million RF already, and we're going to be able to store up 1, 2, 3, 4, 16 million RF in total right here. And our assembly table is live, and we're moving right along. We can finally make our super tools, and so that's what I'm going to be working on. I'm just going to be kind of advancing along those tiers and seeing what we can, getting all my tools ready, starting to reorganize the base now that I'll be able to work, much more rapidly. And what I mean by that is, if you've never seen what these hammers can do, well, here you go. They mine a lot faster than your standard tools. And so the super tools make a huge difference in the amount of time it takes to get things done. And they are absolutely worth investing in and getting built as soon as you can. And we're going to go ahead and get that repaired because I don't plan on really using that anymore until I get it turned into an indestructible tool. So that's it for this episode, guys. As always, thanks for watching. If you liked it, like it. If you'd like to see more like it, hit that subscribe button. As always, leave me some feedback. Let me know what I did right and what I did wrong. And I will see you guys later. Y'all be good to one another.